Have you ever wondered how great stories are written? The magic of storytelling isn't conjured out of thin air. It's a craft, a discipline, a dance between creativity and structure that captivates the audience, transporting them into a world of the storyteller's making. Every tale that's ever made you laugh, cry, or hold your breath in suspense has been carefully crafted, using the building blocks of storytelling. These blocks, or structures, are the scaffolding upon which narratives are built, giving shape to the chaos of imagination. They guide the story's flow, ensuring it ebbs and swells in a rhythm that engages, excites, and moves the audience. Structure is the invisible hand guiding the hero's journey, the unseen force driving the plot forward. It's the secret ingredient that turns an ordinary tale into an extraordinary one, a story that lingers in the mind and stirs the heart. So buckle up, as we are about to explore the various storytelling structures that can turn an ordinary tale into an extraordinary one. Imagine a circle, a simple, perfect shape that guides character-driven narratives. This is the essence of Dan Harmon's story circle, an 8-stage structure that breathes life into character-driven stories. Let's start with the first stage, you. This is where we introduce our protagonist in their ordinary world, a familiar environment that's about to be shaken up. Think of Harry Potter living under the stairs, blissfully unaware of his magical heritage. Next comes need. Something is missing in the protagonist's life. Harry, for instance, yearns for more than his mundane existence with the Dursleys. He craves love, acceptance, and a sense of belonging. In the third stage, go, our protagonist leaves their comfort zone and embarks on an adventure. Harry accepts his invitation to Hogwarts, stepping into a world of magic and mystery. The fourth stage, search, sees the protagonist exploring this new world, encountering challenges and making discoveries. This is Harry's journey through his first year at Hogwarts, filled with friendship, rivalry, and danger. At the midpoint, find, the protagonist achieves or discovers what they needed. Harry uncovers the truth about his parents and the dark forces that threaten his new home. However, obtaining what they need often comes at a cost, leading us to take. Harry must confront Voldemort, facing the harsh realities of his destiny. In the penultimate stage, return, the protagonist goes back to their familiar world. But they're forever changed. Harry returns to the Dursleys for the summer, but he's no longer just an ordinary boy. He's a wizard and a hero. Finally, we reach change. The protagonist has evolved, learned valuable lessons, and is ready to face future challenges. Harry is stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever his second year at Hogwarts throws at him. This cyclical structure takes characters and readers alike on an emotional roller coaster, creating a satisfying narrative arc. The story circle is a roadmap, guiding us through the highs and lows of a character's journey, transforming them from who they were to who they're meant to be. Our next stop is a classic narrative framework that's been around since ancient times, the hero's journey. This journey is a path that takes us through 3 critical stages: the departure, the initiation, and the return. At the heart of this journey is our protagonist, our hero, who embarks on an adventure, faces trials, and returns transformed. Let's dive in. In the departure stage, the hero exists in an ordinary world. Life is mundane until the call to adventure arrives, disrupting the status quo. There's a refusal of the call initially, a natural reluctance to leave the familiar. But then comes the meeting with the mentor, a figure who provides guidance and motivation, pushing the hero to cross the threshold into the unknown. Next, we venture into the initiation stage, a realm of challenge and change. Here, the hero faces a series of trials and tribulations, each one a test of their character. Allies and enemies are met along the way, shaping the hero's journey. The hero then reaches the innermost cave, the heart of their journey, where they confront their greatest fear or challenge. This is the ordeal, where the hero must face death or a fear of it, emerging victorious and obtaining the reward. Finally, the hero embarks on the return stage. They must make their way back to the ordinary world, often pursued by the forces they've challenged. This is the road back. The hero's transformation is cemented in the resurrection, a final test where they must apply the wisdom they've gained. They return home, bearing the elixir, a reward or knowledge that benefits their original world. The hero's journey is more than a series of steps. It's a cycle of growth and change, of self-discovery and transformation. It's a narrative that's echoed in countless stories, from ancient myths to modern blockbusters. The hero's journey is a timeless structure that resonates with readers as it mirrors our own life journeys. Let's move on to a structure that organizes the plot for clarity, the three-act structure. The first act, the introduction, is where we meet the characters, learn about their world, and discover the conflict that sets the story in motion. It's the appetizer for the feast of storytelling that's about to unfold. Next up, we have the escalation. This is where the stakes rise. Our characters face challenges, make mistakes, and learn valuable lessons. It's the main course of our tale where the meat of the action is served. Lastly, we arrive at the resolution. This is where all threads converge. Conflicts are resolved, lessons are learned, and our characters find closure. It's the dessert of our story, sweet and satisfying, leaving us with a sense of completion. The three-act structure is like a roadmap for storytellers, guiding them from the beginning to the end of the story. Now let's talk about a sequence of story beats that structure storytelling, the Save the Cat beat sheet. Imagine a dance routine. Each beat leads to the next, each step is crucial. That's what the Save the Cat beat sheet is like. It's a sequence of key moments, or beats, that keep your narrative flowing seamlessly. The beat sheet begins with an opening image, the first impression of your story world. It then moves to the catalyst, a pivotal event that propels your protagonist into action. This leads to the debate, a period of doubt or questioning before the protagonist commits to their new path. This decision marks the break into two, a point where the story shifts direction. The beat sheet continues with other key moments like the midpoint, bad guys close in and all is lost, before culminating in the resolution, where loose ends are tied up. The Save the Cat beat sheet ensures a rhythm to the narrative, making the story more engaging and dynamic. Next up is a structure that shapes narratives using 7 key points, the 7-point story structure. This structure is like a compass for storytelling, guiding us through the narrative landscape with 7 distinct landmarks. Let's delve into these 7 points and their roles in shaping the narrative. The first point is the hook. This is your story's opening gambit, the scene that pulls readers into your narrative world. It's a question, a mystery, a captivating image, something that entices curiosity and engagement. Next, we have the first plot point. This is where the story takes a turn. It's the event or revelation that propels your protagonist into the main conflict. It's the point of no return, where the story's direction changes and the stakes are laid bare. The pinch point 1 follows, a moment of pressure and tension. It's a reminder of the antagonistic forces at play, a taste of the danger and challenges your protagonist will face. Then comes the midpoint, the heart of your story. Here, your protagonist gains a deeper understanding of their journey. It's a moment of reflection and revelation, often changing the direction or tone of the story once again. Pinch point 2 is the second moment of tension and pressure, a further reminder of the antagonistic forces. This is where things start to look particularly bleak for your protagonist. The second plot point is the final injection of new information into the story. It's the last piece of the puzzle that prepares your protagonist for the final confrontation, the climax of your story. And finally, we have the resolution. This is where all the narrative threads tie together, where your story's conflicts are resolved and your characters' arcs reach their conclusion. The 7-point story structure offers a balanced framework, ensuring that every part of the story is essential. With this structure, you can create a compelling narrative that keeps readers hooked from beginning to end, taking them on a journey they won't soon forget. Opening. There are many other structures that storytellers can employ, each with its own unique advantages. Our exploration of narrative structures wouldn't be complete without a glance at some other compelling frameworks. Let's step into the realm of the Fichte curve, a compelling structure that emphasizes rising action, climax, and resolution. This framework encourages writers to create tension and suspense, driving the narrative towards a powerful climax before resolving the conflict. It's a roller coaster ride, one that keeps readers on the edge of their seats from start to finish. Moving on, we find the episodic structure. Here, each section of your story functions as a standalone episode, each with its own conflict and resolution. It's like crafting a string of short stories, all connected by common characters or themes. This structure is particularly useful when exploring the depth of a character or setting over time. Next we have in medias res, a Latin phrase that translates to in the middle of things. As the name suggests, stories following this structure start smack dab in the middle of the action, providing context later through flashbacks or exposition. This approach is great for gripping your readers from the get-go, immersing them in the narrative without delay. Then there's the parallel plot structure. This involves interweaving multiple storylines that may converge at some point. It's like watching several stories unfold simultaneously, all tying together to create a complex, layered narrative. It's a favored tool for writers who enjoy exploring different perspectives and how they intersect. Finally, we reach the non-linear plot structure. This approach presents events out of chronological order, creating intrigue and suspense. It's a puzzle that readers must piece together, offering them an active role in uncovering the narrative. Closing. Each of these structures provides a different lens through which to view and craft your story. With such a variety of narrative frameworks at your disposal, you can experiment and find the one that resonates with your unique storytelling style. Now that we've explored various storytelling structures, how do you choose the right one for your story? Well, that's like asking a chef which ingredients to use for a recipe. It depends on the dish you're preparing, doesn't it? In the same way, the choice of narrative structure hinges on several factors, including the genre, themes, and narrative goals of your story. Let's talk about genre first. Some genres have a natural affinity for certain structures. For example, a fantasy epic might lean towards the hero's journey, with its emphasis on a protagonist's transformational quest. On the other hand, a mystery might benefit from a non-linear plot structure, using flashbacks or out-of-sequence events to create suspense and intrigue. Next, consider the themes you want to explore. Are you delving into the human condition, or perhaps the struggle between good and evil? Maybe you're investigating the effects of technology on society. The themes of your narrative can guide you towards a structure that best supports these explorations. For instance, if you're examining multiple sides of a complex issue, a parallel plot structure could be an apt choice, allowing you to interweave several storylines. Finally, think about your narrative goals. What kind of journey do you want to take your audience on? If you're aiming for a roller coaster ride of rising action and climax, the fishtail curve might be your go-to structure. If you want to surprise your audience with an unexpected twist, the 7-point story structure, with its emphasis on turning points and reversals, might serve you well. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here. The beauty of storytelling lies in its flexibility and diversity. It's a bit like a well-stocked kitchen. You have a pantry full of ingredients at your disposal. It's up to you, the master chef, to mix and match them to create a dish, or in this case, a story, that's uniquely yours. Remember, the right structure can give your story the power to captivate your audience, so choose wisely. Understanding the mechanics of storytelling structures can transform your storytelling skills. From the 8-stage structure of Dan Harmon's Story Circle, which guides character-driven narratives, to the hero's journey, a classic narrative framework where a protagonist embarks on an adventure, faces trials, and returns transformed, storytelling structures serve as a roadmap to crafting engaging narratives. The 3-act structure simplifies the process of organizing the plot, breaking it down into introduction, escalation, and resolution. Meanwhile, the Save the Cat beat sheet offers a sequence of story beats to structure storytelling, guiding writers from the opening image through the catalyst and finally to the resolution. The 7-point story structure involves 7 key points like the hook, the midpoint, and the resolution to shape narratives, providing a clear progression for the plot. The fishtail curve, on the other hand, provides a visual representation of the story's rising action, climax, and resolution, emphasizing the rhythm of the narrative. The episodic structure allows each section to function as a standalone episode with its own conflict and resolution, giving writers the freedom to explore multiple facets of their characters or settings. In medias, res starts in the middle of action and provides context through flashbacks or exposition, creating an immediate sense of intrigue. The parallel plot structure interweaves multiple storylines that may converge, offering a rich tapestry of characters and events. And finally, the non-linear plot structure presents events out of order, creating intrigue and suspense, and challenging the audience to piece together the narrative puzzle. These structures offer diverse tools for shaping plots, character development, and conflict progression to suit various storytelling styles and genres. As a writer, you can select the one that aligns with your narrative goals and themes. Use these structures as a guide, but remember, every story is unique. So don't be afraid to experiment and find the structure that best serves your narrative. Until next time, keep spinning those tales.